Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic / Non-Classic. This is episode number 722 and Doubleshot number 626. Books 5 and 6 for the Fables Deluxe Edition. I'm about to check some here. But yeah, this book, book number 5, collects issues 34 to 45. Yep, 34 to 45. There we go. Yeah, 34 to 45. Has 3 story arcs: Jack Be Nimble, Homelands, and Arabian Nights and Days. Jack Be Nimble is a 2-part backdoor pilot into the of the 3 spin-off ongoing series of Fables, the longest one at 50 issues. Which Bill Willingham and Matthew Sturgis basically wrote. Of course, Matthew Sturgis, this name is not her name is on one of their covers. Yeah, this one I think is a combination of about 2 trades. I think it is. Let's find out. Well, actually, it's pretty much the entirety of Book 6 and almost the entirety of Book 7, all but the last couple issues, which is kind of a little weird, the fact they do that. Yeah, and I will talk about the next book in a minute, but yeah. Jack Be Nimble. It's just Jack, from the story Jack and the Beanstalk, where he takes raids the treasure room and takes a fortune, takes a truckload of stuff to Hollywood, establishes his own studio called Nimble Studios, and hires a guy to be his public face. Of course, he's also gay. He doesn't really have a problem with it. He's out here for a good 4 years and made 3 successful movies. Like Jack Part 1, Jack Part 2, Jack Part 3. Okay, fine. And then after a while, B shows up, basically as somebody who Jack has to go see, because Jack had been fired because Fables basically bought him out. And Jack said, yeah, even though I stole from you, I still basically, I was planning to pay back interest. Yeah, Jack became a rich guy. And then because the students take away from him, along with his fortune, and the fact he was banished from Fabletown because of this nonsense, he basically went off to go to his own spin-off series, which wasn't launched until after issue 50 of the Fables ongoing series. Yeah, Homelands is just a brief visit to Homelands. Yep. Yeah, it's just a visit to. It just basically focuses on Blue Boo and trying to figure out who the adversary is. I should point out, though, the man actually, the villain the whole entire series, well, most of the series, because after a little while he gets removed, thanks to a war and later book, is Geppetto. Yep, Geppetto. The guy who created Pinocchio. He's the one behind it. Also, what way Mark Buckingham draws Pinocchio, draws like this. He's very stuck up about something. And anytime you see him when he's drawn by Mark Buckingham, he always draws Pinocchio this way. Other artists draws him like a little boy. Despite I think he's over 3,000 years old, which is a little weird. Yep. The Arabian Nights one. That's actually the debut of Sinbad in the series. Oh yes, Sinbad. Yeah, and he acts like a really royal prick, where he expects some kind of welcome. It was like, and they basically said I have to get a car, and then they got out, met Prince Charming, and apparently first they met with King Cole first, because apparently King Cole knows about stuff like this, and of course Prince Charming does what he does best. Just after a while, after something with the genie, yeah, there's actually an actual genie here called Dajin. That's not even genies, and they have blue skin. So after a little while, they are basically banished from Fabletown, but Sinbad is put in charge of Fabletown East. Yep, he's put in town of Fabletown East, which is basically based out of Baghdad of all places. Yeah, it's basically a place for all the Arabian fables to live. Okay, not a bad idea. And King Cole is named their ambassador. Fantastic idea. Yep. Great set of stories. 9.5 out of 10. Next up, it is this book here, which just has 4651. It's just basically the rest of one trade. Actually, yeah, it's mostly what remains of like one particular trade. It contains like 4 story arcs. Yeah, it's just mostly just the last couple issues that was printed in Volume 7 Fables, and pretty much everything that was printed in for Volume 8. And that's it. Yeah, and with these stories, you get a chance to see a love story, which lasts for a good couple issues. You have an issue where Mowgli finds Bigby because he's missing since the Battle of Fabletown, which cost Pinocchio's life. And I think it's like one other thing in here. And I had to, because it's been a little while since I've read this stuff. You have, oh yeah, Bigby, after leaving a message for the adversary, he and Snow get married in issue 50. Fantastic idea. I love it whenever you have these special issues. And I think they're actually the first ever married couple, the first time we have a couple get married during the course of a series, not before. Yeah, they get married. This, of course, well after they've had their 7 kids. And, of course, we have this one last issue in here, of course, after the wedding. Of course, it was a little note that where Rose Red said that, or she said that if I wasn't the maid of honor, you could forget about free babysitting. Yep. And mostly we have Cinderella, who in this continuity is basically a spy instead of being a princess. Yeah, she basically just goes to Cloud King and forms a treaty with them, succeeds, and then she says, never send me a diplomatic message again, because she hated it. Great storytelling here by Bill Willingham. 9.5 out of 10. It's really good. Yeah, it's great, though, that when you get to issue 50 and you get something very happy happening. Bigby and Snow White getting married. I should point out, though, after this, Bigby still occasionally shows up. Mostly takes part in some stories. And after this wedding, Snow White's role gets greatly reduced. Yeah, half the time she barely shows up in the series. Not like, let's say, cameos per se, but her roles are so small and minor. Because prior to, even before, I think the reason why that the writer decided to have her basically pregnant, have kids, is because they want to focus on other characters. It can't just be about Snow White and Bigby the whole entire series, which is great. And the series is called Fables. You don't have to have focus on one character. Yep, there's that. So yeah, that's really it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode where I'm going to cover books 7 and 8 for this particular series. You'll find out my thoughts on those in the next episode. But yeah, Fables is one fantastic series. I highly recommend it. Okay? But it takes a while to get through the series. You have to read the series from the beginning to understand everything that's going on in the series. Yep. But until I see you in the next review, bye.